Wagwan Internet, is Mr. Menziah here, and welcome to the Ghost of Tsushima review. So first we're going to talk about the gameplay. So the gameplay in Ghost of Tsushima, in my opinion, is absolutely fantastic. And not only is it fantastic, there is a balanced tone in difficulty and skill. I feel when it comes down to a lot of melee combat games, there isn't much skill nowadays unless you're playing games like Neo, Bloodborne or Dark Souls and Sekiro. I feel Ghost of Tsushima has a good mix of casual and hardcore gameplay. The reason I say this is when you play the game at first and you get into it, you get your ass kicked a lot, bro, because when you first start playing it, the gameplay is very intimidating. And then the more you start to explore Tsushima and you do side quests, get upgrades for your abilities, not only does your character become stronger, there are different playstyles for you to unlock as well. And the thing is, there are 4 stances that are the most important thing when it comes to fighting regular soldiers. So there's 4 type of enemies in the game. So you've got your brutes, your spearmen, your sword and shield, and your sword users. So the thing is, each time you come across enemies, you are always going to get these 4 archetypes of soldiers. And the fun fact about the gameplay when it comes down to the stances, you change them all the time in the middle of combat. So you're always having to adapt your playstyle whilst you're in the middle of a fight. And the thing is, when I first saw it, I thought this was going to be very immersion breaking, and it's basically going to slow down the game and take you out of the vibe. It doesn't do that whatsoever, and I'm very happy to see that. Plus, when you upgrade your character, you can get different weapons like kunai, which are like little throwing knives, smoke bombs, sticky bombs, and other stuff like that. And it makes fighting soldiers or guards much more easier, and you can also change up the playstyle when you're doing it. So if you're the type of guy to play stealthy, you can do that for the most part. If you want to go all out, kill everybody on sight, you can also do that. Or if you want to be a ranged player, you could do that with both of the bow and arrows in the game, or the kunai, or any of the ranged attacks you can use in the game. There is different types of playstyles for you, and it doesn't restrict you to just one playstyle at a time. You can change your playstyle at a whim if you want to, and I think that is very good in this game. Another fun fact that I really like about this game, and I don't see anybody talking about it, but in Ghost of Tsushima there are a lot of boss battles, and you've pretty much seen them in promotional material where you see 2 people getting ready to have a sword fight in like the very cinematic tone like you would see in those old Japanese movies. You get that. And the thing is about these bosses, and I don't see anybody talking about it, is the bosses actually adapt to the way that you play. So if you're using a certain attack too many times, the game will start to realize, hold on a minute, you're using this a little too much. Now that I know what you're doing, I'm going to start blocking you. So for example, if you like to jump and do the slam with the katana, the boss that you're fighting will eventually start to block it. So you can't keep using the same ability over and over again and just kill them. You have to use it a certain amount of times until they adapt. Then you have to change it up, change up your playstyle, do as much DPS as possible before the boss also starts to attack or starts to adapt to that playstyle. I got my ass handed to me a lot of times in those boss battles, bro. They're fantastic, but they're hard. And I played on normal, fam. I played on fucking normal. And these bosses, fam, are nuts. Because the thing is about these bosses is, if you mess up, you could press the wrong button at the wrong time, and it could be over for you in seconds. Hear me out. If you press the wrong button, it could be over for you in seconds. These bosses are no joke, but when you finally beat those bosses, bro, it's so satisfying and you feel like you've climbed Mount Everest, bro. Real talk. You really do feel like you've just climbed Mount Everest because of how difficult the bosses are. But when you finally manage to use the right abilities or using the right attacks, parrying at the right time, dodging, attacking, when you beat it, it's so satisfying. And I don't think a lot of bosses do that nowadays, where like the difficulty is absolutely there, but when you overcome it, you feel like a badass. You really do. So I think Sucker Punch, when it came down to the bosses in this game, you did a fantastic job, in my opinion. Absolutely fantastic. Now let's talk about the story, with no spoilers, of course. The story in this game is phenomenal, period. There are some hiccups with it when it comes down to the dialogue sometimes, but it is actually explained in the story. But basically, the main character you play as, I feel there are some points where he just feels completely emotionless, but at the same time, in the story, it is explained and you understand the morals and the mindset of the samurai. I'm not going to make it no spoilers, but basically it is explained. But I do feel sometimes there could have been a little bit more of emotional depth to the character in certain points, and I think there was a bit of a missed opportunity there. It's not like his dialogue is bad or anything. I just feel like, come on, bro, show some emotion every once in a while, you know. So it's not bad, but it's sometimes it just falls a little bit like flat. And the soundtrack in this story is also very good. In fact, I think it's one of the strong points of this game. The reason I say that is because when you think about games nowadays, it's starting to become a lot more rare to see video games have fantastic soundtracks, where it's not just like it's good, but it's really distinct when it comes down to soundtracks out there. For me, I feel some of the most distinct soundtracks, Halo, Assassin's Creed, what else? Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima, obviously. The Battlefield soundtrack, the original, the one from Battlefield 4. I think that's my favourite mix when it comes down to it. This one definitely has that type of quality of being iconic. And as for Ghost of Tsushima, I think the story is definitely well written, and plus its soundtrack goes very well when they're trying to get certain tones for the story. So let's say if it's like a serious moment, you have the right serious soundtrack, or if it's an emotional moment, you have that, or if it's a peaceful moment, yes, peaceful, they have that type of music in the game, and it's well done in my opinion. The soundtrack alone is also very fantastic. I highly recommend going on YouTube and listening to it. It's phenomenal. Now, downsides to the game. There's actually not a lot, believe it or not. One of my downsides for the game is basically when you come across enemy soldiers in the world, you have the opportunity to have a standoff. And it's basically a little small duel. It's not like one of the boss battles, but it's like a smaller version. And my issue isn't the actual duel itself, it's the camera work when you get into the standoffs. It basically cuts to different angles before you actually start it, and I kind of think it's a bit disorientating sometimes, because I feel when it comes down to the duels, I would have preferred it or the standoffs I should say, it should be seamless. If it was seamless, I would have preferred it that way, where you just walk up and you get ready. But it takes really weird camera angles that takes me out of the game, and it bugs with my eyes. Also, Ghost of Tsushima is an open world game, and there is lots of side content for you to do. You have your mythic quests, which are like quests that have got to do with certain mythical legends and stuff, and you get a special reward by the end of those quests. And obviously you've got your stereotypical open world content, and unfortunately some of the content is quite repetitive to do for the most part, and it's some of that content can just be skipped. Like, it's not much of a big deal for you to do, but there is that trope of the open world template in there, and unfortunately we are still in that age where we don't know how to make side content as fun as the story content. So yeah, when it comes down to side content, for the most part it is very good. Like, some of them are absolutely fantastic and some of them are left to be desired, in my opinion. That's literally my only issue that I have with the game, and other than that, I absolutely love this game. I think it's absolutely fantastic. So now on to my final verdict. Ghost of Tsushima is definitely a fantastic game, but it's not flawless. It's not a masterpiece. But I would definitely say, if I was to rate it, it would be like an 8 or a 9. Yeah, that's how good it is. Like, I don't have any serious issues with this game. It's only small things. And other than that, I would highly recommend this game, fam. Like, real talk, this game is phenomenal. I can definitely say it's worth the price as of right now. You don't have to wait till discount. It is very good. There's different play styles that you can do. The story's phenomenal. The world itself, bro. Oh, I even forgot to talk about the world, fam. The world. I feel Ghost of Tsushima's world isn't jam-packed like every company that makes an open world tries to do now. Like, it isn't like completely populated with people doing certain stuff. Like, it's not like Red Dead or GTA 5. It's not like that. It's the thing that makes the world feel so alive, in my opinion, is the nature in the world. Like, it's weird because you're in the countryside. Like, you're always in the countryside or in the mountains. And the thing that makes the world feel so alive is just the wind. You see all of the flowers moving in the wind, how it's being blown. And you see the blossoms falling from the trees, the leaves falling. It feels real. Like, it feels alive to actually be in this world. Even though you don't see a lot of people around, if that makes sense. So for me, they managed to find a way to make the game feel alive without a lot of NPCs all over the place, if that makes sense. So I do feel Ghost of Tsushima is a fantastic game. You need to play it. It's that good. It definitely has its difficulty, but it's very easy to overcome once you understand things. And understanding the combat in this game is also very easy for you to get your head around, and it's great. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below for those who have bought the game, and let me know if you guys are planning on picking this one up. And if you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. If you like the video, drop a like for me. It really does help. And I will see you in the next one, guys. Take care.